Listen, that heavy, aching feeling that comes when you pray your heart out and the heavens seem sealed shut, that's not just you. We've all been there, standing in the stillness, wondering, God, are you even listening? We wrestle with this idea that a loving, all-powerful God could simply go quiet when we need Him most. Before we go deeper, if you've ever felt like God is quiet and you want to understand His silence better, hit subscribe and stay close. You'll find strength in what's coming next. This isn't a failure of faith. It's actually one of the most profound, misunderstood parts of the spiritual journey. The real reason God is silent right now, the one nobody really talks about, is because His silence is often His loudest, most important form of communication. It's not an absence, it's an invitation. We've been trained to expect a booming voice, a burning bush, or an instant text message reply. But sometimes, God takes away the noise, not to punish us, but because we won't learn the deeper lessons any other way. We won't build the muscle of listening until the usual distractions are gone. We won't seek Him just for who He is until we stop hearing what we think we want to hear. Think about the great figures of faith. Job lost everything, cried out in agonizing pain, and for chapters and chapters God was silent. David, a man after God's own heart, wrote psalms, pouring out his feeling of being utterly forsaken. Even Jesus, in His most terrifying moment on the cross, cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" These moments weren't divine indifference. They were crucibles. The silence was creating something in them. For Job, it was a deeper bedrock understanding of God's sovereignty. For David, it was intimacy forged through desperate reliance. For Jesus, it was the necessary solitude to complete the greatest work in history. Their waiting was not empty time, it was preparation. I remember a season in my own life, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, when I was completely stuck on a major life decision. I prayed every morning, opened my Bible hoping for a sign, and listened to every sermon. I felt nothing, just static. I kept thinking, if I just pray harder, if I just do more good things, He'll speak. I spent 3 months feeling increasingly anxious, trying to force a word. Finally, out of sheer exhaustion, I stopped asking and just started sitting. I kept up my prayers, but I changed the focus from "what should I do" to "who are you?" and "who am I when I'm not doing?" Listen, what happened next was quiet, not dramatic. The silence didn't break with a new revelation. Instead, I started noticing things about myself. I saw that I was addicted to quick answers and terrified of making a mistake. I realized I was trying to use God's voice as a spiritual GPS to avoid risk, rather than as a relationship that empowers me to walk through risk. The quiet didn't tell me what to do. It gave me the courage and the inner stability to do. That season wasn't about God not caring. It was about Him stepping back so I could learn to stand on my own 2 feet, guided by the principles He'd already taught me, not just a fresh download of instructions. Psychologists and neuroscientists talk about something called the default mode network in the brain. It's the system that activates when we stop focusing on the outside world and start focusing internally on our memories, future plans, and self-reflection. When our lives are filled with constant noise, constant chatter, and constant requests, that deeper, reflective part of ourselves never gets a chance to turn on. It never gets a chance to process. God's silence, in a sense, is the ultimate way to force your soul's default mode network to activate. It takes away the external stimuli that we use to distract ourselves and makes us finally confront what's inside. It cultivates patience, not just waiting without complaining, but actively choosing trust when the evidence is nowhere to be found. Listen, if you're in a desert season right now, remember that God has already spoken volumes through Scripture, through the life of Jesus, and through the creation around you. When the direct line goes quiet, it means it's time to stop looking for a new word and start living out the words you've already been given. It means it's time to move from being a student who needs constant hand-holding to becoming an apprentice who trusts the master to be watching, even if he's not talking. The silence is often a testing period, yes, but not a pass-fail test. It's a developmental test. Will you still show up when the reward is just the showing up itself? Will you trust his character when you can't feel his hand? This is where true, robust faith is formed. The sound you're waiting for might not be a voice in the sky. It might be the sound of your own feet moving forward in trust, or the quiet sound of your own spirit maturing. So, let's reframe this quiet moment. It's not a pause in the relationship. It's a transition. It's not a punishment. It's refinement. God hasn't left the room. He's just waiting for you to look up from the noise of your requests and see him in the stillness. He's always working, always moving. Sometimes the preparation for the answer requires the silence, because the answer is too big to be revealed until you've grown into the person who can properly handle it. Listen, take a deep breath. Be grateful for the quiet. It means you are being prepared for something you cannot yet see. Trust the process. He loves you. That's the loudest truth of all. Just keep showing up.